everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of Ringside Radio. This is GrimmChorizo,
KatrinaCena,
and SchloppyJoe,
here to bring you our second part of our podcast. So, it is November now, officially. October's over. The month of 2 pay-per-views. Battleground, which we covered last time.
One really lame.
Which we'll try not to talk about because that was bad. But we just got off of Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell. And I thought that was pretty solid. That's pretty solid compared to the last 2 we had. So, how about we back it up to about where we left off on the last podcast, which would have been around the time we knew John Cena was returning.
Woo!
Dan O'Brien. Okay, so since our last podcast, the Rhodes family got their jobs back, and that's not all. They are the new tag team champions, or I guess a few weeks now, but still, it's awesome. It's what do you guys think about them being the ones that take the belts off to the Shield?
Yeah, I think it's like it was the perfect people to do it because they can't just have like some small name beat the Shield for it. Mm-hmm. They're both such a big name because of their dynasty of the family and stuff. So it's definitely a good choice.
Yeah.
I think it provided a great, especially in the PG era now, they have to really do things that are PG but that are also entertaining. And I think one way they try to do that is to really make people feel what's happening, make people really feel like they're in the middle of it. And having this family story involved, I think, really contributed a lot to audience participation. And, you saw the locker room come out and congratulate them. And, Dusty was there. And, the interesting thing about the Rhodes family is that Dustin and Cody are so far apart in age. Like, when I was 5, I remember seeing Dustin wrestle in WCW as the natural Dustin Rhodes. And, Cody's about my age. So, Dustin was an adult when I was very young. And so it's almost like they're a generation apart. So it's almost like 3 generations, even though it's only 2 generations. Yeah. So it was very unique. It was a very good moment. I think that a lot of people could really get into and get behind. And, the credibility of such a prestigious family in the business taking the titles from the Shield, because the Shield has been on such a roll since their debut a year ago. I mean, it was definitely I think a defining moment, something that people are going to talk about for quite a while.
Yeah, definitely. That has got to be up there for one of the best matches of the year. I think so, excitement in that main event. And I think when you knew they won at Battleground, you knew they were going to get a title shot eventually. And when they got it, and it was put on the main event, I just remember being like, this is it. And Big Show's involvement was, I didn't find it it take away or anything, because really he's become a pretty big part of the storylines as of late. But
yes, at least he's not crying every week.
Yes.
Yeah,
I know we touched on that last podcast, but man.
Yeah. So the Rhodes are tag champs. What else? Daniel Bryan and Orton being the top, I guess, feud. It was announced that, I don't know if we knew this last podcast, but Shawn Michaels was the special referee in Hell in a Cell.
I don't think we knew that last time.
So,
because I would have been screaming about it. Definitely.
We were all very excited about that, and
yeah, I mean, I do like how they left it up for a vote, but when you saw Shawn Michaels, you knew he was.
Yeah.
There was no way.
Well, see, here's the thing. I saw Booker T, and I was like, nah, Booker T's all right. And I saw Bob Backlund, and I was like, dude, because Bob Backlund is so funny.
Yeah.
He's so animated, and I know I'm overly animated about things, so I guess I can kind of relate to that. So I was like, yeah, I want to see Backlund in there. But if you think about it, he has so much ADHD, he couldn't be a ref any better than I could. Come on.
Yeah.
But
as soon as you saw Shawn Michaels, you knew everybody freaked out. You knew it was going to be him. There was no
there was no way it was anybody else.
Yeah. So, we got our match. Shawn Michaels guaranteed there would be a WWE champion, and there is.
He was right.
It was not exactly.
He is no longer the champion.
Yeah. It was not exactly what most were hoping for, as Shawn, doing what he does best, betraying his friends, kicked Daniel Bryan in the face, and 1, 2, 3, Randy Orton wins the title again.
I would like to defend Shawn for a moment and point out that in 2002, it was Triple H that betrayed him.
That is true.
Okay?
That is true.
Shawn's my guy, so I have to defend him, even though I'm not happy with what he did.
So, how about that Hell in a Cell match, main event? Bryan and Orton, other than the fact of the ending, which really, it wasn't a bad ending. It was a good ending. It was just kind of like, oh.
It was too predictable. That's my only thing. And I'm not one who sits here and complains about everything creative does, but it was too predictable. It would have been much less predictable had Shawn, quote-unquote, done the right thing.
Yeah.
Or even had Shawn, put the boots to Randy, who we knew from the beginning, he was saying, I've never liked Randy Orton. I trained Bryan, so I think that would have actually been less predictable because I think so many fans were, thinking that this was the way it was going to go. The title was going back on Randy.
It was set up just for the betrayal, but I was thinking like, okay, even though in my head I was like, obviously Shawn will betray and Orton will win, but I was like, what's that? What good is that going to do? And we just had Triple H do the same thing, and now we have Shawn doing it. But I mean, it's over now, and it's working. They're doing stuff with it. But it would have been nice to have that satisfaction of Daniel Bryan walking out the champ. But it was pretty sweet to see a segment between Bryan and Shawn on Raw, even though it was putting the yes lock on Shawn Michaels. But it was pretty cool.
Shawn's tapping like crazy.
But yeah, the match itself was pretty good. I thought it had some innovative stuff, like the pile of chairs. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there was like 10 chairs.
Yeah, and then what was a superplex onto them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Which they barely hit them, which is good because if they had landed on them, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that made me
felt good.
But that was a pretty cool moment. That was probably one of the most memorable spots in it, I guess. I mean, it was a good overall match, but that one really stood out to me as and it was Bryan who got out all the chairs, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's just tossing them in there.
And he got every chair that was under there.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
So now Shawn is quote-unquote heel, I guess, but I don't know if he's really going to stick around or if it's just like a,
part-time kind of thing.
So we'll have to see where that goes, but Daniel Bryan's not the champion, Randy Orton is. What would this be, 11 or 10 or something, or is that too high? I don't really know.
Title reigns?
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
It's got to be a lot.
It's been quite a few, yeah. I'm not actually sure. I'm really bad at numbers of. I don't even know how many times my guy has.
Yeah. Well, now he's got it again, and Big Show is kind of doing the Stone Cold thing where he comes in and busts in because he's fired now. He's banned from WWE for life. We'll see how long that lasts.
Let's see how that works for everybody.
On SmackDown. I'm guessing it's when he'll be back.
It's kind of interesting with it being Big Show, I guess. I don't know. I think I said on the last one, it just feels like he's doing more now than he has in the past.
He's doing things of significance. Like, people are paying attention. He shows up and they're excited because they want to see what's going to happen.
The crowd really is excited.
And I agree. It is kind of like Stone Cold, sticking it to your boss.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the most interesting thing Big Show's been involved in for quite some time. I agree. But I don't understand how they had him going from, being the big crybaby and super sensitive about everything to being almost like a Stone Cold.
Yeah,
being like a BA, I don't care what you say. Yeah. I'm going to defy you. And it doesn't really make sense because that was almost like an overnight thing.
Yeah. And the thing with Big Show though, he's been in the business for so long. They're probably running out of things for him to do.
1997. That is a long time.
That's crazy. And he hasn't really done anything like this. He has.
Yeah.
But he is one of the guys where they'll flip from face to heel.
They really do. Yeah.
It's like him and Kane because they're
monsters.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. They're like monsters. So you want to see
I'm
them.
the Kool-Aid pitcher.
You want to see the monsters as big, dominant.
Yeah.
But then eventually that doesn't work. They got to turn face. So they do that a lot with people like Big Show and Kane. But so on. I guess I was going to say on SmackDown, but it's not really SmackDown and Raw anymore. Either way, the world title scene, Cena returns at Hell in a Cell, and knocks Del Rio off, wins the world title, and...
I sat very quietly the whole time.
Yeah.
I promise.
Yeah. But great return. He wrestled as good as ever.
Better. I think better, seriously. I'm super biased, but... he looked really good.
And even though Del Rio was in it, it really wasn't that bad of a match.
It was a pretty good match. it's just truly amazing what John Cena can do. Like,
well, the fact that he came back so early.
Yeah.
And those who say they padded the return time, are you kidding me? Torn tricep surgery, come on, he came back in 2 months.
Yeah.
Don't hate because he works harder than anybody else. Don't be hating.
And on a note, I thought it was actually really cool the videos they showed of him like daily or like weekly, like getting ready. You could just tell like the early days he was like kind of like depressed because he couldn't do it, like work out, do anything.
Drives
he
me
still
crazy.
did. He's like, I can't work out for 5
I
days.
got stitches, but I'm going to bench press 150 pounds.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny though. How he's sitting at the edge of a weight set, and he just like, I can't work out.
I'm not supposed to do this.
Yeah, I can't work out, and then just leans back and starts
watching. I'm just going to do this.
Yeah.
It just shows his dedication that he wanted to be back, and he was back, and that was a big part of why Hell in a Cell was such a big pay-per-view. Like, it was a good one. So that, he won, and then the next night to open Raw, which was really cool.
Yes, this was awesome.
Cena goes out, and I actually was watching with the volume down because I had some people over and we were messing around, but I hear Sandow come out, I'm like, alright, whatever. And then he's beating up Cena, like actually successfully, like, injuring
beating
Cena.
Him to death
and I'm like, oh my gosh. Calls out the ref.
There's pieces flying from the briefcase.
Actually, and officially cashes in and has the best match of Sandow's career.
Absolutely.
Very,
it's incredible.
Very good match.
This is funny, though. This is hilarious. I was watching, and I'm just like, oh, John Cena's back. Oh, my gosh, I'm so happy. And Sandow comes out, and like you alluded to, I'm like, nah, okay, whatever. They're going to talk, and oh, my gosh, look, it's John Cena. He's back. Yay. It didn't occur to me, even after Sandow attacked him, it did not occur to me that he might cash in. I didn't even think about it. So it wasn't until he was like, all right, I'm cashing in, that I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is going to be like a one-night reign. Because honestly, I thought they'd put the title on Sandow. And I'm going, okay, what are they going to do? Are they, was Cena maybe not quite ready? Does he need a few more weeks? I know better than that, but I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. Mm-hmm. But I had resigned myself to the fact that, Cena was losing the title 24 hours within winning it. And I'm okay with that because he's back, Mm-hmm. I was just hoping that it wasn't because he needed more time off, or maybe he wasn't quite as ready as he thought he was. But the match was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you heard the crowd chanting, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
And you don't hear that very often during a Cena match because, let's face it, he's not the best wrestler. Great storyteller.
Yeah, and the crowd,
very, very, very strong, but
very,
not the best wrestler. And they're very, He's
had some of the most incredible matches, though.
Oh, yeah, he has.
For a guy
he's very tough.
Yeah, for a guy who's not that great of a wrestler, some of the stuff he does is just...
Okay, well, here's where I would say he's not that great of a technician, technical wrestler, but as a... Not even just...
And he's not very graceful.
Okay, yeah, but he is a heck of an athlete. Like, for his strength and just, like... I don't know, he's...
Toughness?
Yeah, definitely.
Incredibly tough.
But he shows he's very good. It's not one-sided matches. He's very... Like, him and Sandow both brought it, and it made a great, very memorable start to Raw. So, the match is going on, and I'm thinking, all right, Sandow's going to win. And he doesn't. Which, it's actually interesting in a lot of ways, because the person who beat Sandow, John Cena, was the first person to lose with their briefcase. So now it's, I think you were saying a few days ago, it's kind of like his redemption of like, I lost, now, he's lost. But this was actually the first one to lose on a pinfall, not a disqualification. Yeah. But still, a lot of people online, just because I was just reading, were like upset, like, oh my gosh, they just buried Sandow. But not really, because that...
Considering he put on the best match of his career, at least televised.
He's not out of the... I don't think he's out of the title scene by any means.
Either.
I think there's a good chance there'd be a triple threat at Survivor Series between the three.
Well, and a lot of times a loss like that actually can put somebody on the map rather than bury them. And you're always going to have critics who, no matter what creative does, no matter what WWE does, they're going to complain about it, especially where it involves John Cena.
Yeah.
So...
But
it's so not worth it.
Yeah. So in the month we've got 2 new champs: John Cena as world champion,
Woo!
and Rhodes family as tag champions.
Woo! And Orton.
Oh yeah, I kind of forget because but yeah, Orton is the WWE.
Vacant is no longer the champion.
So also
there was also another title match at Hell in a Cell that I think you were pretty excited about.
Oh gosh, that was funny.
Talking about the Divas?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'll just touch on this. AJ defended the Divas title against Brie Bella, and I for sure was just like, she's gonna lose. I've been saying that for the past 3 pay-per-views because I don't want her to lose, but I just feel like with the whole Total Divas thing, they want it on a Total Diva.
They want to put that over it, yeah.
Where I thought it was going to be Natalya, but now they've just turned Brie face in a weird, awkward way just because
very awkward.
It's open about her and Daniel Bryan, like,
blah, blah,
so
blah, blah.
I guess that's enough to...
Sorry.
I don't know. But, so, Brie... I will say this. I don't like the Bellas, really.
Me neither.
But Brie has gotten better in the ring. Like, it actually feels like she's trying and, like, cares.
I agree.
I could give 2 craps about Nikki, really.
Oh, yeah.
Brie is, like, I'm starting to get a little bit more, I guess, respect. Because it looks like she's trying. She can make a match seem interesting now.
Well,
but,
and considering who she spends a lot of time with, you can imagine where she gets her skills. I'm sure there's a lot of training involved there. So.
Yeah. So, anyways, AJ actually beats Brie, and I was very happy to say the least.
He was actually really angry at first.
Yeah, very, very angry.
I may have yelled.
He may have yelled an obscenity.
Loudly.
Very loudly.
It was...
His mama was in the house!
Yeah, but... so AJ won. So that's good. And she's still being awesome. And is having a good title reign. But another top feud is finally, I think, coming to a close here with CM Punk and Paul Heyman. And so CM Punk and Ryback had a Hell in a Cell. Oh, CM Punk versus Ryback and Paul Heyman. And so Ryback goes out there. Paul Heyman goes on top of the cell. It just stays up there for the whole match.
Holding on to one of the support cables.
It was kind of funny, but Ryback just can't really, perform very well. So the match was kind of not stellar or anything.
And I did repeat of last year too.
Yeah, well, it was the same match.
Well, yeah.
I
didn't really feel like it was a Hell in a Cell match.
No,
it just happened to be in the big cage because there wasn't the intensity or the. I didn't feel like not taking anything away from Punk.
Yeah.
You can only carry so much on your back during the match.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, Punk. I feel like the match was meant for the ending.
Yes.
Like just that beating up of Paul Heyman, which we can assume is the end of it. And on Raw, he had a street fight with Ryback, and then afterwards, the Wyatt family attacked him. Along with earlier in the night, they also attacked Daniel Bryan. Mm-hmm. So there could be something brewing there for Survivor Series.
Well, and they've been picking on The Miz too.
Yeah.
So there probably is some sort of elimination.
Leading into it,
But now Miz and Kane seem to have a thing. Which is so random.
Mm-hmm. I have to say,
sorry.
Hell in a Cell, one of the most memorable things for me, I was just like, was Kane's return. Like, it was just a little thing, but like, it was very cool because it kind of left it out, in the open. He chokeslammed Miz. It's like, wait, what? And then on Raw, he has a match with Miz. It's just a very short match. And then he calls Stephanie out. You're like, okay. And then he's like, blah, 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 you're evil and all this stuff, but it's best for business.
Yeah.
And you're like, is Kane going corporate? And then he walks up there, takes his mask off, and gives it to Stephanie and walks out. So
and the look on her face was downright scary.
She starts like confused and kind of scared, and then she gets like an evil grin on her face and like holds it up. So what I'm thinking, what it seems like is
a giant fruit roll up with hair.
Is it like Stephanie now is just like has his power and can just like use him? Is it? That's what I was
think that's the idea.
It's just basically like, I'm yours to, because he actually said like what did he say? The monster is yours to unleash or something like that. So I think it's basically like he is just gonna, if she wants, to deal with someone, all she just call out Kane to do it. So, but here's my
release the Kraken.
They kind of left it open-ended as, he took the mask off, but we didn't see him without it. So I hope, it's kind of one of those things, I hope he actually does have the mask off, but you don't know if he... just the way they set it up. But yeah, we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, and we all know that this storyline's gonna wind up in a Survivor Series elimination match.
Yeah, no doubt.
With Team Corporate versus, I honestly have
Team WWE.
Yeah, I
Team Dumbverse.
Yeah, I don't really know what they're gonna do with that, but
this is actually really interesting that while we're on the topic of is Kane going corporate? It's interesting because it's kind of a throwback to in the late 90s, so over 10 years ago, they did the corporate ministry, which The Undertaker was involved in.
Yeah.
And that was the strangest thing that you didn't see coming. But it, the corporation and the Ministry of Darkness kind of merged.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. It's kind of like a modern day like allusion to that sort of.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
But if Kane goes out there in a suit, I don't know if I can take that one. But
yeah, that might be
Undertaker never did that either. It was just this very strange, but I have to say their mashup entrance theme was sweet.
I know what you're talking about.
And then there's the
Rhodes family. I'm not a huge fan of the Rhodes family mashup.
Yeah.
Oh gosh,
it's really awkward.
This is what I think of it. Ready?
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. If you haven't heard it, listen to it and.
Laugh.
Get your own opinion of it.
Or
some people thought
baseball.
it was great. Mashups, they can either go great or they can go terribly. I don't like, I don't know. Well,
maybe we'll save that for another podcast.
Yeah.
That could be fun.
I can think of some more mashups.
Top 5 mashups.
Yeah.
Worst 5 mashups.
Yeah.
So is that about, the main things going on that you can think of right now? Or is there anything that's just like been going on that's just like, oh yeah, this?
Not really that I can think of.
Yeah.
I don't really think so.
Pretty much.
I mean, obviously there's just been, people not doing much.
Well, the Usos, I feel like the Usos are more in the spotlight now again, which is good, and I hope things continue to go that way because they have tag team champions written all over them.
Yeah, they do.
So it's just a matter of when and will they stay on on the main card long enough,
Yeah.
I hope so.
Well,
and so far so good right now, but they've had them where they were pushing them like crazy and then
just like,
yeah. So, but right now
it seems like a roller coaster ride with them.
They definitely are other than the champions and the former champions, they're the top tag team.
Yeah.
Well, and I could see them being, I could see them having enough credibility to eventually take the titles from the Rhodeses.
Yeah.
Or, whoever may take the titles from them.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're ready. It's just a matter
definitely.
of, when. But I'm very glad to see them, more on the main card more often.
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll continue that way.
Mm-hmm.
And there is one little minor storyline that we forgot to mention, the whole thing with Los Matadores and Real Americans.
Yeah, that is
it's not really, it's more or less just showing off Los Matadores. But
yeah,
especially the little miniature bull.
Yeah,
that's...
Which, I don't know, he's got a lot of skills.
Mm-hmm.
First time I saw them debut, I just was like, please, no, I shouldn't have this.
Yeah.
But, I don't know, it is kind of cool, and it makes people want to see them. And again, it caters to the PG era. And, something the kids like, but it's somebody who is a small guy, who can actually do something in the ring, unlike Hornswoggle. Yeah. Sorry guys, but I'm just being honest.
He's worthless.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, yeah, if we missed anything, sorry.
They'll probably randomly occur to us halfway through the podcast.
We'll just get back to that. So let's zoom on over to NXT for a little bit. I
still haven't seen it.
Well, it's been kind of about the same stuff because it's once a week and they don't use everyone every episode, so it's kind of a slower progression, but still very good. Bo Dallas is still the champion.
Oh no!
Sami Zayn was chasing the title still, but he is not getting another shot apparently for a while. And one of the most interesting parts to me right now is, I talked about him last time, is this Aiden English.
Oh yeah.
He's still pretty awesome. He sings a different song every time he comes out. It's usually the same melody, just different words, and it's pretty sweet. In fact, the crowd actually...
And he's good, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, this is like, he's legit.
Yeah, he's good. And after the match, the crowd loves him. After every match, they chant encore, and he sings it.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
He's very cool, just because he's unique. He's just been, wrestling people. He's not really in any serious stories, but Tyler Breeze and CJ Parker are...
That's my boy!
Yeah, they were actually the main event this week.
Oh my gosh, and, I will have to watch that.
So Tyler Breeze, this has been pretty heated. This has been going on for probably since about the end of summer. And CJ stole Tyler Breeze's phone and was taking selfies with people in
that
the crowd.
Totally sounds like him.
Yeah, he...
okay, guys, sorry. I have to interrupt here if you don't mind.
Nope.
CJ is very kind of really special to me because from my very first Dreamwave show in 2009, he was there. So for a couple years, I saw him consistently every month wrestle at Dreamwave. I got to know him. So when you were talking about him doing selfies in the crowd with people, I can totally see that because that really is, who he is.
Yeah.
He's just a goofy guy, a really funny guy, and it's going to be really special to me eventually I'm sure he'll get called up to the main roster.
Yeah.
And that's going to be one of those moments like the first time I saw Seth Rollins, because I used to watch him on the indies, but I've seen CJ even more on the indies, so it's just he's always going to be special to me, so it's really exciting to hear that he's actually been on the card, in the matches, and even now in the main event. That's awesome.
Yeah. Didn't this whole feud start with him bombing Tyler Breeze's promos?
Yeah, he was basically promo bombing in the background, and that was happening around July, August, but now they've had numerous matches back and forth, and so CJ stole his phone, so Tyler Breeze wanted to get some revenge. He goes in there and cuts off some of his dreads.
Oh gosh!
And now he carries them around like a
prize.
Yeah, and well, they had a big match. I guess what would have been Wednesday is when I think NXT airs. I watched it today, but they had their big match, and CJ Parker got the win. But it was a good match. It's really been back and forth, pretty heated rivalry. Just kind of just over CJ Parker just being kind of a goofy guy, which I guess rubs Tyler Breeze the wrong way because he's just trying to.
Because he's a tool?
Love himself. Yeah, exactly. He is.
Sorry.
And I don't remember if I said this last time, but the crowd chants, "Breeze is gorgeous." That's one of the
this is the guy you were saying, people love him and we have no idea why.
Yeah. Yeah, so,
That's crazy.
In the Divas in NXT, it's been
how's
cool.
your girl Paige doing?
Very good. She's still the champ. Her and Summer Rae had a match.
Summer Rae is awesome. Yeah. That's one thing. Yeah. I'm really glad to see that she's wrestling.
Yeah,
on
that
TV
was awesome.
now.
She actually is wrestling finally, because
and her and Natalya had a cool match on.
And she's good. She's good, and it is cool after.
Had a match at Hell in a Cell too.
Yes, that was her debut,
which was the mixed tag.
Yeah, but still, the Divas definitely shined in that match.
Mm-hmm.
For being on the main roster for half a year now or so, it's cool she's actually getting a chance to wrestle. So NXT, her and Paige.
A year, wow, that's crazy.
Her and Paige had a match, and Sasha Banks is Summer Rae's, kind of mean girlfriend, and they're just kind of being kind of like that. And then Emma's always trying to help Paige. Paige is trying to help Emma, but it's obviously leading to a Paige versus Emma because in numerous occasions, Paige went out to help Emma and went to clothesline Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks ducked, hit Emma.
Gotcha.
Then this time, Emma went to help Paige, accidentally hit Paige, and now it's kind of back and forth. They keep accidentally hitting each other, but it's obviously leading to a match, and they're the two most loved divas at NXT and by me. So that'll be a good match.
You're just saying.
Emma will probably take the belt, and I think Paige will be on the main roster very soon. Really.
You think so?
But it's kind of sad because she's so good in NXT, she's a huge part of it. But
and hopefully once she gets to the main roster, she'll be used properly.
Because
I know that is a challenge for WWE.
Yeah, I would. Oh my gosh, her and AJ can have some of the greatest stuff. But there's also Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore. They're kind of kind of like Jersey Shore-ish kind of guys, but they're like, they were heels, now they're like faces, just kind of by default because they were against heels. And now there's this big guy who they describe as like a Roman gladiator. He's like a big, fat, but like agile guy named Alexander Rusev.
Sort of like maybe like a Samoa Joe.
Yeah, kind of, but he's like.
I'm not calling you Fat Joe.
He's like big, like he's like bigger and not like as cool. I don't know. I mean, he's not. He's impressive, but he has this French guy named Sylvester Lefort who has kind of managed a few different guys. One thing about NXT, not to go off on a tangent, is they have a lot of managers and stuff, and it's really cool. So Sylvester Lefort just actually wrestled in his debut thing, and Alexander Rusev randomly attacked him. It was just really random. I don't really know. I just figured I should touch on that because that's happening. And yeah, there wasn't any guest this week, but NXT is still probably the best.
Really cool.
I think NXT is getting to the point that they don't really need the guests, because the guests were obviously on there to help promote the show, but I think they're getting to the point now they really don't need it.
Yeah, but and it's also a drawing point for people in the area. Like, hey,
but I think it's cool that the guys who started there like go back, and even the guys who never were part of NXT or OVW still still go there. Yeah. So. That is cool.
Yeah, so NXT's going good. I think it would actually be really sweet if upcoming they actually had it might be random for people who don't follow NXT, but maybe like use an NXT rivalry as like a pre-show to a pay-per-view or like putting them on a pay-per-view. I think that would be so cool. Like put the NXT title on the line. Yeah. People would be like, wait, what is this? And then they'd want to watch NXT.
That's right, it would pique the interest.
However, they did when they put an NXT superstar in the Royal Rumble. Okay, so Bo Dallas. Yeah, but anyways, big rivalry I forgot to mention is Adrian Neville and Corey Graves. They were the tag team champs, and Corey Graves turned on Adrian Neville, and now that's getting intense, So that's going on. I can't believe I forgot that because that is very, very heated. They're both two of my favorites on there for sure. So, yeah, NXT is awesome. So, what do we got? How about we show something funny? Let's do the funny clip of the month.
We like funny.
Oh!
That was a knee slapper.
These get better every week.
I love these guys.
So, yeah. Now it's time for we've done it once, obviously, because we've had one episode, but a segment where we pick a random superstar out of a list of 100. Last week was Gregory Helms. This time we got a little more fancy. We have all the numbers in this bucket, a WrestleMania 28 bucket. So it's a fish. And so yeah, we're going to pick our random superstar diva or tag team. Who's it going to be? Number 5, and it is Ryback.
Yes.
So,
I'm excited.
Ryback is Skip Sheffield from the Nexus, and he debuted as Ryback on TV in like April, right after WrestleMania 28, actually, and basically was just this dominant, had a winning streak for like months, and
people really got into him.
Yeah,
they loved him.
He had his catchphrase of "Feed me more," and he was really over, and he was looked at as the new Goldberg, and the chance still reign today.
Yes.
So Ryback is. Yeah, he's Ryback. What do you guys think about Ryback?
Go ahead.
Well, when he first debuted, I thought it was kind of cool how they were taking people from like local wrestlers to kind of show them off, but it still really wasn't impressive because they were all like tiny guys who, yeah, he could pick two of them up, but together they probably weighed maybe 200 pounds together.
Soaking wet, holding bricks.
Yeah, so it really wasn't that impressive. So he didn't really impress me when he first debuted or whatever, and he still really hasn't, because he just I don't know, he's just boring, and they seem to... Apparently somebody in WWE sees something in him.
Clearly.
Since they keep pushing him.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, he just, I don't know, he just really hasn't impressed me yet.
Is it my turn?
Yes.
Oh, yay. I can't take him seriously. I just can't. I watched the first NXT with, Brian and all those guys, and some of which they're not even using properly to this day, and then they're overusing some of them who don't have talent. And in my opinion, one of them is Ryback. Sorry, but yes, my opinion. He's a big guy. That's what, that's what he has going for him. He's a big guy, and for some reason, the crowd didn't react to him. I remember when he actually had real competition last summer, I want to say, somewhere around that time, because we all went to a show, and we were excited to see him. Yeah. All of us, I won't lie. Yeah. So he was interesting for a time, but it's just gotten to where it's been a year and a half since then, and he's still the same one-dimensional character he was, same thing, in my opinion. And he just doesn't impress me. He's strong, he's big, but he's not very good in the ring, and I don't ever want to hear him talk on the mic. Ever.
It's not as bad as some people.
And the bullying thing just makes no sense.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Redback, not impressed with you, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, so when Ryback debuted, I was
Cryback.
Yeah, and honestly, I guess you could say I was on the Ryback mobile for a little bit, for a decent amount, until. Okay, so he debuted. I'm like, okay, this guy's cool, whatever. But he, like Joseph said, he's just been squashing local guys, and that went on for at least 3 months. And it can't keep your interest for that long. So when you had some actual competition, it was kind of neat. I remember really just not really caring about him for a while until about later 2012, probably October, November. I remember actually being pretty into him, and just because, I don't know, I was just like, all right, whatever. But around
it was intense when he'd come out and the crowd would just be so into it. You couldn't kind of help but get sucked into it, whether you wanted to or not. I was in the Feed Me More thing.
I really liked the song. I actually still like the song. That's all he's got going for me now. But around a Royal Rumble, at least beginning of 2013, I just lost interest. Really, because he didn't improve at all in the ring. He was just, it was like he plateaued at not very good.
One-dimensional
he just, when he started having matches, because at first all I wanted was to see him in an actual match. I was like, dang, this guy's going to be really good when he actually wrestles a match. And then he did, but he's still not good. He just he's a power guy, but he's not safe in the ring. No. He's he doesn't care about the person. I guess I can't say this, I'm not him, but it just doesn't seem like and just reports backstage is he just doesn't really care, about the people. He's not a safe worker. He's not a very good worker. Yeah, exactly.
That's not good.
But he was pushed to the moon this year. But they turned him heel after WrestleMania, and by that time I was done. I just didn't care. So I can't say I've always not liked him. Most of 2012 I did like him, but some in 2013 I just stopped caring, I guess. And I remember I thought he was going to win the Royal Rumble, and then he didn't, and John Cena won, so that's good. But, woo! So I haven't cared at all. I do like his song, but he changed from the Feed Me More thing to Ryback Rules, which I thought was the most retarded thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, well, they changed that about
what does that even mean?
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was around there. He started kind of like a bullying gimmick, which I guess he's still kind of in.
A little bit,
but he would just backstage would bully people. It was like a high school bully. He literally was the high school bully.
Yeah.
And there were times it was mildly humorous, he'd pick up a guy and throw him through a table, or but that was it. It was okay, what's the point? Why are you showing me this? And he has no mic skills really. He's just.
That's why
he's past. They put him. Exactly. He was. If he was gonna win the title, which would have been awful, he would have done it in May and June when he had the chances, and he didn't, thankfully. And then he kind of went off. And I've actually heard reports, just rumors and stuff, that there's big heat on him backstage, and like he's probably actually might be taken off the main roster.
Oh, huh.
Like legitimately, because he's just not. He doesn't have a good attitude. Like these are all just rumors I've heard, but if they're true, I would believe them. He just doesn't seem like the type, you know. So we'll see where that goes. But my opinions on Ryback is not really a fan. Not really a fan. So.
3 thumbs down. Yeah. Sorry, Ryback.
Sorry,
Skip.
There's better. Oh yeah, just for you. Yep. What? that was his old catchphrases. Skip Sheffield.
Please don't remind us.
All right. Next pay-per-view is Survivor Series, which is great one. You know, it's one of the big 4.
Yep.
But
last year I was there, getting a nosebleed in the ceiling, but I was there.
But
the Shield debuted.
Yes.
I saw Tyler Black in the parking lot. I went, oh my gosh,
Survivor Series. Yeah, that was cool.
Sorry.
I remember you texting and saying like, "Oh my gosh, Tyler Black's here," but you didn't think anything.
No, I didn't think anything of it.
Well,
because I see a lot of times I'll see the guys from NXT drive by. I saw a guy from Dreamwave drive by at Survivor Series. He later told me he was just an extra backstage, and they had asked him to be there.
Yeah.
He lives in Indiana,
cool.
so it made sense. But so I didn't think anything of it when I saw him.
Yeah. So, but Survivor Series is, I guess, what the main gimmick of the pay-per-view, or at least is team matches and elimination matches and stuff. Whereas now, it's not as much as it used to be, where when it started, it was literally like all the matches were like team eliminations, like 4 on 4, 5 on 5, 3 on 3, no matter what. Which it'd be pretty sweet if this year they brought a big focus onto that again. Like last year they had one announced, and then they brought in another one just to use people, which I thought it was nice just because that's part of the pay-per-view. That's one of those pay-per-views where the title could not be the main event. You could get away with having like 5 big names against 5 big names and it still draw the attention.
Well, because that was the gimmick.
Exactly,
that was the gimmick of the pay-per-view.
And this was always a good time for the brand extensions because they had Team SmackDown versus Raw.
Well, and in 2010 they did.
I love that match.
And in 2010 they did Team Nexus versus Team WWE. And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
Especially when Brian ended up being the final member of Team WWE. Yeah. That was cool.
So we know we'll at least get one, but it would be very nice if there were like 2 or 3, just kind of like, it looks like there's going to be like Wyatt family versus Punk Bryan, maybe Miz, and
possibly.
But here's the thing: is it going to be a 3-on-3, or do you think they're going to do like Team Wyatt and then 2 other people against 5 other people? What do you think?
I'm guessing it would probably be 3-on-3.
That would make more sense because Wyatt family don't really need to work with.
Right.
They don't need to ally.
And there's not really a reason.
Yeah.
So and they could do like team, the team authority corporation, whatever, versus, I guess, Team Big Show or something, or but.
Something that I was
Team Unemployed.
Something that I was thinking that they could do was like have Shawn turn out to like Triple H forced him to do it. He didn't want to, so he turns on Triple H, and then it's Team Triple H versus Team Shawn.
Yeah, that was an initial thought before.
Yeah. Unfortunately, at this point, they don't have time to do that, but that would have been awesome.
Yeah. I don't see them doing it now.
That would have been sweet.
Even after Raw last week, I don't see them doing it now. But that's what I was thinking was going into.
And that could have been the main event right there.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan would have been captain, I guess, of Team HBK.
And then Orton would be.
Yeah, and then probably you could have the Shield.
Dude, see, you guys should have just done that.
That would have been sweet.
That would have been awesome.
But they're obviously going to do a Triple H versus Big Show match sometime.
Yeah.
So it could happen here. Depends on how long they're going to draw.
I mean, they can even just draw this out until WrestleMania.
Yeah, but that's too long. I can't do that.
Too much. Too much, guys.
Yeah, I think it could work at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
It being one of the big 4. I'm not saying main event, just have it on there. I think that could work. And it'd be like Big Show wins, he gets his job back. If he loses, he'll actually.
Isn't it in Boston?
It probably is.
Sorry, random shiny moment.
I really don't know.
She has a lot of
those. It probably is.
Something else I think, how you said last year, they just had a random match just to use people. I would even be okay if they did that because it shows showcase people who normally don't get a spot on a pay-per-view.
Yeah, like I think
last year it was great.
It was I remember like Brodus Clay, I think Tyson Kidd and like Justin Gabriel, Primetime Players. They were just all in these teams. Tim Sai, I remember that was before he was with Brodus Clay.
Yeah,
it was like
before the fat dancing.
You had just random people, but it was very exciting, very cool match, and they could just do another one of those. Just use people. Yeah, use people.
And it was a good match too.
It was exciting.
And I think it was probably like the first match too. I think first or second.
I want to say it was the opener.
Yeah, but that's a good opening.
I was trying to stop my nosebleed, so you know.
Oh yeah.
That was a joke. It really was. I was really way up there though. It was scary.
Like here's the ring. She's.
I'm even higher than that. Yeah. It was crazy. But I was the second person ever to buy the brand new John Cena gear. I would like to point that out. The dark blue. I was excited. I wouldn't be the first, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So, what do we think? For obviously no matches have been announced for Survivor Series.
Nope.
Nope.
So what do you think could be some of them? Obviously, we've been talking about, you know, the teams.
Yeah. But they'll probably have like a Rhodes versus another Shield match. And they might even throw the Usos in there.
I'm really hoping the Usos get thrown in there.
Yeah.
Just do do what they used to do. Wow. Like a ways back when they had like 4 teams.
Or they could even put, that would be fun. Or they could put these 2 tag teams versus these 2 tag teams and have it like an 8-man tag elimination. That would be almost like a Survivor. It would be awesome. Like a Survivor Series.
Or they could do the Shield and
or they're pushing
Real Americans.
Yeah.
Versus the Usos.
And they're pushing Big E against
Big
E and Ambrose. So they could do Big E and the Rhodes versus the Shield, and then like winner takes all in elimination.
That would be very cool. I've been wanting to do a winner take all since the Shield have won the titles. I thought that would have been a cool way for them to lose them.
Well, and they could now because, you know, here's Dean Ambrose still with the United States Championship, and the Rhodes is with the tag team titles. So it would be interesting because
one team
no matter what, somebody is losing a title.
Book it. That is good.
Good call, buddy.
Very nice. So, on the topic of the Shield. We know
the Shield.
There was a backstage segment, Dean Ambrose with his U.S. title, talking into the camera. Very, talking about how he still has a title. He even says, like, he's the only member of the Shield that can hang on to his belt. Very, you could see the looks of the other 2 not very happy, just basically death staring.
Yeah.
Which I think it's a seed being planted.
I think so too.
And it's the first seed to be planted. I don't think there's been any sign of it split. Yeah. It's kind of nice to see because it's not going to happen next week or anything.
No.
But it's slowly going. And
they've had a good run. I would like to see it go on a little bit longer, but it's been pretty much a solid year now. They've been, for the most part, they've been very dominant. And it's been a great year with them. So hopefully it is a while beforehand, but it's definitely imminent. Yeah. There's going to be a split definitely in 2014.
It was just cool to see that a little bit.
Yeah, and even like talking about the match that we were just talking about with the winner takes all, whatever, that would be a good way for them to break off, because have the Shield lose and have Dean Ambrose blame Reigns and Rollins or the other way around, and it'd be a good way for them.
Because I think that'll definitely how it'll happen. Yeah. So somehow be big match loss from someone. But,
do you guys see Dean Ambrose as the heel?
Yes.
As a heel when they split? I think so too.
Definitely.
Well, just after the promo of Raw, like just the way he was talking.
Well, and the condescending attitude. Yes. And he's so good at, he's just very, gosh.
I definitely see him being the heel. At first I figured they would have him kind of pull away and just be a face on his own. But
Ambrose?
I can't see Ambrose's face.
Oh, I actually never saw that.
I kind of saw it for a little bit, but now, like, seeing the
But people like him a lot.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying that, because so many people love him, but after seeing that promo, they are definitely pushing him towards the heel when he splits off on his own.
He's already...
Well, yeah, but when he pushes off on his own or whatever, they're definitely going to keep him.
So that is just very excited to see how that goes. So, I guess I said it earlier, I honestly think they could do a Cena Del Rio Sandow triple threat at Survivor Series, so we don't have...
Well, because Del Rio gets his rematch.
And so does Sandow. Now, no, he didn't lose. I still think he'll be put
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I think that is an exciting...
I don't think they're going to take him out of the title scene, just because of the incredible match.
It would be very dumb.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't want to see a singles match again with Del Rio.
Yeah.
And we could use a good triple threat.
They haven't had a good one for a while.
And what are some other stuff? Just give Ziggler something to do, please.
Please.
Don't put him on the expert panel.
Give him anything. But Big E and Axel... Well, yeah, actually Big E and Dean Ambrose is looking more like the thing. But I am very behind the Big E face turn.
Mm-hmm.
People care about him now. I mean,
he needed something because after the whole him and AJ kind of splitting up,
he wasn't doing anything.
I'm
very.
Well, that was just so awkward.
Yeah.
But I think putting him with Punk, having them do the thing where he ran back in and helped.
That was awesome.
That definitely helped Big E toward the heel disposition. Dude, my mom's freaking out texting me. My John must be on SmackDown right now. But yeah, pairing Punk and Big E, which was so random, but it really has, and it has helped, and people care about Big E now. I couldn't stand him. I didn't care that he was on TV.
Yeah.
But now he's much more believable. I don't know. Like, he's an interesting character now that he's a face. I can actually like get into it.
Yeah. People loved him when he was on NXT.
Exactly.
That's not going to be my favorite guy, but
I was waiting for them to turn him face because just on NXT he was always a face, and I was like, whenever they turn him face, it's just gonna work. Like, he's actually really really funny too. Like in like promos and stuff, he hasn't really got much of a chance. And to me, him and Ryback are like. I like Big E. I think he's a very good powerhouse, like, big guy, whereas Ryback is just, like, not.
He just needs ring gear that fits him.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just like to point that out.
Not a huge... And he's... I don't know, his hair's kind of weird, but I don't know.
His whole face is weird. I like him. I'm not...
Yeah, I like him, too.
He's alright. He's a beast. Yeah. But he's got some interesting things.
If only we got Big E as our superstar. We like Big E.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Something else I think they might have... Like, that might happen. This kind of goes back to the whole, like, AJ... The whole AJ thing, like... They put Tamina with her, and Tamina... She's like, helped out during matches, but she hasn't done a lot. I think eventually they're going to have, like, Tamina turn on AJ and have, like, a Tamina-AJ feud for the title, which I think would be really cool.
And you could definitely see Tamina taking the title off her. That would be believable.
Cool.
I'm not taking anything away from AJ. I don't have anything against AJ. AJ has an undeniable passion for the business, and no matter what she does, I will respect that because that's something I can absolutely relate to. But I could see Tamina, second generation. Yeah. She's a beast. I mean,
she really is.
She's very good. And I could definitely see her taking the title if that were to happen, if a rivalry were to happen.
And they put her in a position where they could easily do it.
Yep, definitely.
Just because as soon as I heard that they were putting Tamina with it, that's the first thing that came to my mind. Okay, they're going to have Tamina or AJ, one of them are going to turn on each other.
Well, eventually somebody's going to get sick of the other one.
Yeah, and it's going to lead to them...
Probably Tamina.
Yeah.
I would think so.
AJ can be a little crazy sometimes.
She's a little unstable.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Maybe some chemical imbalance going on there.
Yeah. So I guess we'll have to see, how
we'll have to see
how it goes. Nothing's been announced for Survivor Series, so these are all predictions, but I have to say that match you said, book it. That would be great.
It needs to happen.
All right, so to finish the podcast, we're kind of going to wrap things up here with some questions that we've kind of been thinking. I actually thought of one earlier this week. Actually, I saw something on Facebook that one of the random people on my page had posted. So here's my question to you guys. We've been talking about the Shield on and off the entire podcast. So my question is, if you had to choose one, who is your favorite member of the Shield? And just kind of tell us why a little bit.
Fair.
Anybody want to throw that around?
Oh gosh, that is a.
I mean, I could start if you guys are still trying to figure it out.
I can go.
It'll give us some time to think.
That is a very difficult question, and I'm not. I will pick a answer. I'm not just going to be the guy who
Who's like, I like him all.
But I will say each one of them is extremely talented, put in the perfect position. They couldn't have picked a better three to work together. Reigns is the power. He's got that look. Ambrose is just the perfect villainous, just crazy
scary
kind of
guy.
lunatic mouthpiece. And then Rollins is just phenomenal in the ring and shines whether he's getting beat up or, doing the beating. But my favorite... I think I gotta go Dean Ambrose.
I'm so heartbroken.
He has just got a, like, aura to him of just, like, a character, like, his personality is just, I'll never see him as a face. I don't think he'll ever be a face, but he could be a top heel. Like, I really, really like his finisher, the headlock driver thing is just, I think it's pretty innovative. I haven't
it's different.
seen it. His skills in the ring are just very unique, and I don't know, you just don't see, it's like, in NXT he actually had a feud with William Regal, and you can kind of see, he actually uses some of Regal's moves and stuff as a somewhat of a, I guess you could call it tribute, but in his way, it's actually kind of a mock. But where he really, really shines is his mic skills. Like, I can watch a Dean Ambrose promo. Oh my gosh, just whether it be like a backstage fallout or just an interview, man, he's very impressive.
The thing that I like about him is like just the way he presents stuff. Is like people all over the internet are saying he's like the Joker of WWE,
very much,
which is, I think is awesome because Joker's like my favorite villain.
He's very ominous.
So yeah, I mean, like just his facial expressions and the way he presents himself in and outside of the ring. It's just
exactly the way he presents himself. The way he is in the ring, his hair is all creased back, and it's just like he's doing the Joker thing. He literally he licks his sides of his lips and stuff.
And I'll tell you, even at a personal appearance, he's just freaky. I was like, I don't know if I want to walk up to you or not. I couldn't see past the fact that Seth Rollins was right there. So
and he. Just about his unique style is he'll just scratch somebody's back. You don't see many people do that. It's just
Hulk Hogan used to do that. That's so random. Sorry.
But yeah, so
shiny moment.
They're all fantastic, but I guess I can kind of see why Dean Ambrose is, de facto leader.
Katrina, your favorite?
Okay, well, I definitely agree with Grimm. I like all three of them. They bring a lot to the table. It's kind of like when they made Evolution. Each person, each member of the stable has a very particular part that they play, and each of these guys just does an incredible job. I like them all. I don't want to take anything away from any of them, but absolutely, without hesitation, my guy is Seth Rollins, and as I've talked about time and time again, I wish I brought my little picture. He's one of my indie guys, and my indie guys are very special to me. I've got some now that I keep thinking maybe 5 years from now they'll be on TV. It's something I can't even. It's crazy to think about because my mom and I would go to shows up in Berwyn, AAW, All American Wrestling. They still run shows. But back in 2006 and 2007, he was there, Seth, as Tyler Black, and which is why, to me, that's just who he is. So I still that's how I refer to him. But he's always been an incredible athlete and just very intense, just knows what he's doing, so impressive, and, just seeing him on the indie scene, and then I actually got to be at his debut. Like I said, I saw him pull into the parking lot and just lost my marbles because it had been so long since I'd seen him. And, you go from seeing someone on a regular basis at a show and then you find out they got signed and you're like, oh my gosh, really? But then you don't see them forever. And then he was just there and I went a little crazy. Like I said, he was just like, get me out of here. But so I actually got to see the Shield's debut at Survivor Series last year, and when I saw Tyler come in, I didn't think anything of it. He's just a guy they brought in to as an extra, or maybe he just wanted to see the show. Who knows? And then when those three actually came out, I was so high up, I kid you not, I didn't know who they were. So I called somebody who I knew was watching the pay-per-view, and I'm screaming into the phone, tell me who these guys are. I'm screaming really loud. I should probably apologize to this guy. Because I'm just like, who are these guys? It's one of them, Tyler! It's one of... I'm serious. Because I was like, I saw him earlier. I know he's here. And poor Marco eventually did say, yes, that is Tyler Black. He's probably deaf in that ear now. Because it was so intense. So I kind of feel like I missed out on it a little bit because I couldn't really see. You know, of course, I know that's Dolph Ziggler down there. Mm-hmm. But 3 guys all in black.
Yeah, you're not going to...
I don't know who that is, you know. And Tyler looks a little different because his hair was all black on the indies and, you know, now he's got the blonde streak. So that threw me off a little bit too. But I gotta say, you know, of course they continue to be on TV, and the first time I saw him on TV, tears down my face, seriously, because it's such a cool thing to, you know, like, know somebody sort of. Like, we weren't like best buddies or anything, but... You know, I would sit down and talk to him at an after party for a few minutes, you know. I've got pictures with him, you know, my mom's got pictures with him, we've got autographs. So, very emotional when I actually saw him for the first time. Now I've talked way too long. But, favorite guy, by far, easily, Seth Rollins. Tyler Black, always special to me. And definitely my top 5 favorite wrestlers, too. So, yep.
Schloppy?
Well, I'm gonna be that guy. I don't really have a favorite guy. Just because they're so awesome, like you guys said, they all bring their own individual thing to the group, and they are definitely like the future of they are the future of WWE. Yeah. I can see all of them being WWE champions and World Heavyweight champions, and
hopefully wearing less gear one of these days. Sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be that guy. I don't really have a favorite. They're all just. Awesome.
just is there one that's just a tiny bit?
If we all were that guy,
just a tiny bit more.
I wouldn't have had to pick one.
Come on, like it hurt him. You could see it hurt him. For me, it's easy.
I'd probably say Dean Ambrose just because of the way he presents himself.
Nice.
You're supposed to say Roman Reigns, then we all know.
Yeah. I know, but
yeah.
You failed. Lay a key.
But I do agree. Definitely the future. Yeah. Like in all ways. I don't want to cut you short. I mean, we talked for like.
Ever.
5 minutes, but I think Seth Rollins definitely can be like top face.
Yeah.
Dean Ambrose could be top heel, and Roman Reigns could do either. Really, I can see him.
And that is so funny because Tyler or Seth spent a good amount of his time on the indie scene as a heel.
Yeah. I just see him as a face. I just see him like perfect face, like. And
he's just cute.
Like, the two like
he's so little.
And I said it at WrestleMania 30. I want to see Ambrose and Rollins for the World Heavyweight title.
Yes.
That'd be sweet.
Love that.
And Roman Reigns could be there too if he wants. I really like Roman Reigns.
He could be the ref. No, I'm just kidding.
Just make it a triple threat for the title.
Yeah, that would be that. Then that could totally happen. But
I mean, they have had triple threats on NXT before, and it was an awesome match. Yeah.
Can you imagine how confused we'd all be if that was actually
happening? What do we do?
Oh my gosh, my brain's gonna explode.
But before we wrap this up, just on the Shield, one more thing. They definitely have they've let them all shine, but one that I think they let Roman Reigns shine the most.
I think so too.
He's a beast,
which he very much is. But his double spear on Raw was insane.
Yeah, it was.
So it just seems like they usually have Rollins. Sadly, is always the one who takes the beating, gets the pin because he's like Dolph Ziggler. He can sell like arguably almost better than Ziggler. But his in-ring ability, I think, tops the other two.
Yeah.
Reigns, his look is just like perfect for what
what
the
they
business
look
wants.
for. Yep.
And Ambrose,
and he's very powerful.
His presence and his mic skills. That's why they're just a perfect trio. Like
they are.
Early on, I remember being like, well, why isn't because the only one I even knew a little bit about was Tyler Black. So I was just like, well, he should be the guy, But like the talk.
But now you see why
they're all doing their own thing, and it's just exciting. It's so exciting that they're still together, and at some point they're not going to be, and it could be sooner than later. So that is a hard question, though.
Yes,
that is,
and
I'm
you taking
really
that
glad
way.
I got that photo op at Comic-Con this year because there may not be a next year.
Yeah.
With the 3 of them.
Yeah.
And since yesterday was Halloween, let's have we thought of a question earlier, and what do you guys think is the creepiest gimmick or creepiest wrestler that they've ever had on a roster?
To me, personally?
Yeah.
Or just...
Like, what wrestler did you see, like, man, that guy's going to give me nightmares?
I mean, Kane's probably, like, early Kane's probably, like, arguably one of the, like...
Well, and we were much younger then, obviously, so he was more an intimidating presence.
Just pretty scary dude when he's got, like, a full everything on, like, not speaking, just, like... And obviously the Undertaker, like, is just, like, early on, it's just kind of like, oh gosh, but...
He's so awesome.
I think now Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family is pretty creepy. They're very eerie. I think that's a good way to describe it. Just eerie, disturbing, like, oh gosh, no. But they're awesome.
He reminds me of the girl from The Exorcist.
Yeah.
The scene when she's running down the stairs and...
Oh my gosh.
You can tell he's so into his character.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
He's great.
I don't think it's even possible a fat guy can do that. But he did. And it was scary. It was.
Yeah.
I agree.
Some other scary. Oh, Boogeyman.
Boogeyman, yeah.
He's a freak. But
I mean, but I was like... He was always supposed to be like that funny gimmick, but he's still scared the crap out of you. He's just creepy.
I was never scared of him,
but he was always creepy.
It was just weird.
Then he ate the mole off Jillian's face. I mean, that's just...
I totally called that one. The second she showed up, I seriously said, one of these days, the Boogeyman's going to eat that thing off her face. And it was months later, but... He did. As soon as I saw that, I just knew they had that for the Boogeyman to eat it off of her face. So random. Yeah, my answer would probably have to be the Boogeyman, but like Grimm said, the Wyatts are definitely up there too. Just as far as just their
and like I always get their names like that, but the guy who wears the sheep mask is the creepiest one. Yeah, just. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't do much. He kind of just stands there. Just
scares the heck out of me.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And this guy, I just think he's awesome. I think he arguably was supposed to be kind of like a darker, creepier character. Kevin Thorne. And Mordecai.
Oh my gosh.
Beforehand. I thought he was pretty awesome. Kind of short-lived, but I just think he's cool. But he was kind of a creepier, Halloweenish kind of.
That was fun.
Kind of wrestler. Then you got people like Oz.
Oh no!
Well, we're going to talk about worst gimmicks. We're talking about creepy gimmicks.
At 4 a.m., go to YouTube and look up this Oz character because that was pretty funny.
Yeah, but I think he was supposed to be kind of scary. Or at least that's.
Well, it didn't work.
No, it's just.
No. Kind of like the Shockmaster falling through the wall with his bejeweled helmet. It's falling off of his head.
Yeah.
Sorry, now we're on a tangent. Okay.
Well, I think we'll wrap this one up. If you got any scary gimmicks we left out, just comment below
and actually, it'd be great to hear who your favorite member of the Shield is.
Yeah, and give us.
I feel like the bias overall is Dean Ambrose. And that's fine. Everybody has their opinion, but hey, if you have an opinion, comment. You know, we want to hear from you. We want to see what you guys think and why you think why they're your favorite.
Yeah. So if we got any viewers out there, just give us some thoughts, opinions on our podcast. We're on number 2, so we're gonna try and do it like a monthly thing. Maybe we might do 2 this month. Do one after Survivor Series, just so we can keep up with the pay-per-views. But just. Ask us some questions. We'd be glad to answer them, so we don't, have to
come up with our own questions.
But yeah, so leave them below, like them, subscribe. I'm GrimmChorizo.
KatrinaCena.
I'm SchloppyJoe.
And we will see you next time.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry.
Later.
Peace. Deuces.